Creativity, to me, in this field specifically, means flexibility in your designs. It's very easy to be very closed-minded whenever you're coming up with something. Creativity is trying the fun things, the weird things, the things that definitely won't work out, but they'll kind of fuel your process.
I think creativity, to me, means using your original work to make other people feel.
I guess I would say it as the freeness to wonder or think or do without feeling restrained or constricted in principles.
Creativity is like kind of a cheesy word sometimes because it's always like, oh, think outside of the box and be innovative and stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of different ways you can be creative. Honestly, a lot of what I do is just requires a lot of patience and like thinking ahead and planning, which I think is like kind of the key to creativity, is having like a forward thinking mindset basically.
Success is quantified in so many ways.
So that would be the traditional definition, is to work your way up to being a principal in a design firm.
I think for the most part, at least with like people our age, a lot of people want to have their own, like, to have creative control over their whole career or have their own brand or have ownership over what they have created or what they've designed.
Of course, success technically means playing sold-out shows and having a lot of fans and having a lot of streams and making a lot of money and being able to survive off of making music.
I mean, a lot of people in this field, because it is so like media heavy, so headlines, so clickbait, so like a new innovative thing and one thing goes viral and everybody has to buy it. All of that like buzz that goes into being successful in the industry is like a teeny tiny percentage of creators.
I have realized now, and I try to do with my students, I don't know how successful I am at doing this, but is that understanding that your life and your creative life is a long, entire process that is imperfect and will never be perfect. And will never like completely or necessarily succeed according to these very narrow definitions.
But I think a better way to define success would be to come up with a design, see it all the way through for its construction, and you being able to walk through that design and like see all the little components that you originally designed in real life, like you being able to see them in person.
A lot of it is like very technical, kind of like an engineering side of it, so there's a lot of like measurements and precision, but also like having something come from 2D, just like a piece of fabric or a piece of paper, going into something beautiful. It's not.
A really cool moment is whenever you finish the project and you're pretty satisfied with your work, even if it is like 2 or 3 in the morning, and you put it all together, but it's kind of like, this could really be a design, and like this could actually exist in the real world. It's definitely like an aha moment.
My favorite artists are the ones that make me understand myself and my emotions better, and I hope to do that for other people. I mean, I will listen to songs and finally be able to put words to an emotion that I didn't have before and go, oh, that's how I feel. Like, that's how this situation makes me feel. And I hope to do that for other people.
Something successful would be something you could show other people and they'd be like, that's really cool, or, oh, I know that place.
I think creativity is somewhat necessary for success. I mean, the most successful people are, you know, innovators and doing something different. And, you know, when people are successful with music, it's usually because they're doing something outside of the box.
I think it helps success by being able to be like adaptable and flexible and good at problem solving. But it can also hinder because I think it's a smaller industry for creatives. There's a lot more struggle, especially if you're doing like art and you want to have a small business. It really is a lot more work and less of like a cookie cutter kind of career.
I think it's less about creativity impairing somebody's work and somebody getting sort of lost in their own creativity or sort of losing perspective. And for me, I think there's moments for a creative person to be by themselves and to daydream and to sort of like think bizarre things and not be concerned about what other people think. But then I think there's a moment to sort of get feedback from people outside of your head. Maybe somebody doesn't have like an engineering brain or doesn't have the ability to think linearly. I know a lot of friends and colleagues who just like just do not follow like a straight path. Their brain doesn't. But I feel like one of the things that they do is find people and have them in their lives and cultivate relationships with people who are able to kind of help steer. So I think it's less about creativity being a stumbling block and somebody getting lost in their own head.
I mean, I feel like I would be so disconnected from myself and the world around me if I wasn't able to kind of live through music and the music that speaks to me. And if I weren't able to write my music, I feel like I would express myself in a completely different way.
I didn't realize how much creativity brings joy into my life. So I would say that if you are someone who isn't creative or used to be and is no longer, I say get back into it because you may not know how much joy it brings you.